welcome to This Day. It is Friday, October 28th, and it would be Halloween weekend for those of you who love costumes and love to celebrate spooky things and fun stuff. So hopefully you have some things planned. Okay, we have no open meetings today to tell you about, but on our show we have Dan Oweiler, who is here on behalf of Sterling Financial. We have our Sports Corner with Cole Young, and then the Laguna Woods Friends of the Jewish Federation of Orange County Club. And Wendy Levin is going to tell us all about that. All right, let's take a look at our weather. Well, it's super foggy out there this morning, and it looks like we're going to have a little fog going through the weekend. However, perfect for our, celebration of anything you might have for Halloween. Today we are looking at clearing skies, 75, 57, 77, 57, 78, 60, and then Monday is 77, 63, and Tuesday 70, 61. If you are traveling this weekend, take a look at these numbers. Beaches are 76, 57, San Diego 75, 55, Santa Barbara 73, 56, Palm Springs 86, 61, Tahoe 59, 29, Big Bear 58, 27, Mammoth 59, 24, all with chilly nights, and Las Vegas 77, 52. Our sunrise this morning was at 7:06, and our sunset will be at 6:02. And don't forget, next weekend we roll the clocks back on November 6th at 2 a.m. All right, when we come back, we'll have Dan Sterling, and hopefully he can help us out with some financial investing for our retirement. We'll be right back.
Laguna Niguel Hyundai used car sales event is going on now. Save now on over 250 used cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. All makes, all models, all price from $20,000 or less. Plus, we'll buy your current car, paid for or not, including lease buyouts with top dollar paid on the spot. Shop online anytime at LagunaNiguelHyundai.com at the 5 freeway at Avery Parkway.
At Genesis Medical Center, our goal is to treat chronic conditions with a traditional and holistic approach to get the best results. We created a program we call Diabetes Reversal, targeting people with prediabetes and chronic diabetes. The patient is closely and personally monitored. We check parameters, blood sugar monitoring, A1C, cholesterol, high blood pressure, and weight. We offer natural supplements, and we will hopefully decrease the amount of medications you're currently taking. We teach lifestyle modifications, increase confidence, and control the disease.
Now at LA Carpet & More, you can transform your old bath into a new walk-in bathtub or shower in as little as 2 days. Plus, save 50% off and get 5 years 0% financing. It's easy, affordable, and fast. With 35 years in business and serving over 300,000 satisfied customers. Call 800-684-4100 for an appointment or visit one of our showrooms.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Hi folks, this is Dan Oweiler with Sterling Financial Advisors. We've been around for a long time, been on This Day with Lisa, and just wanted you to know that we're still in business, even through the pandemic. We still have the opportunity to now meet with people individually, in person, and we'd like to invite you to give us a call if it would make some sense. If you're doing some planning for retirement, please give us a call. We'll be happy to meet with you. Thanks so much.
Welcome back. We have Dan Oweiler here from Sterling Financial. How are you?
Good to see you again.
You too. How's it going?
Pretty good. We've had a little bump in the market, so it's come up a little bit, so everybody's happy about that.
Yeah, well, how long will that last?
Well,
Crystal ball now, come on.
Yeah, get my crystal ball out. Yeah. Well, go ahead.
It's a scary time right now, because nobody really knows what the outcome's going to be. We have high inflation. We have the cost of our regular goods just out of control.
Yeah.
You've probably had a lot of seniors come to you and saying, now what?
Yeah. They a lot of times they come in and they say, inflation's just killing us and we're on fixed income. And so how do we go about addressing that. And
Right.
so, unfortunately, sometimes they start taking more risk than they probably should, because
Right.
at this stage, losing money is going to affect you much more than making extra money.
Right.
And so it's kind of a balancing act there as to, some of the things you should be doing to address that, or just kind of living through it,
Yeah.
hoping it doesn't impact you too long.
Well, right, and so let's talk to the people who may have just retired,
Okay.
right? And they've been relying on their income for quite some time, and now they're looking at their 401k, going, "Oh my gosh, look
Right.
what happened to it."
Yeah.
So, what would be your suggestions?
It's funny you say that. I met with a couple earlier this week. It was the second meeting that we had, and they were talking about timing of retirement. And we sat down and I said, "So, when are you gonna? If I told you could retire, would you?" And she says, "I've already put in my papers." So
Oh, wow, okay.
So it was a lot different the second meeting than it was the first meeting, and so now they really need to set up a plan and kind of say, okay, I'm going to stop the paycheck. How do we get money? Type of thing.
Right. So they can come to you and they can find out about that, because obviously many of us have lost a lot of money in our 401k over just even the
Yeah,
last
but you're
year.
39 years old.
Oh, well, I'm not saying me. I'm just
and-
saying as a whole.
You're 39 years old.
But we
You have
all
lots of time.
Well, no, we really don't have a lot of time. I mean, you want your investments to grow, right?
Right,
And so
right.
when you're talking to folks who are retired or are planning on retiring, what are some of the pitfalls that they run into?
Well, one of the things they need to do is make sure that they have a plan in place and review that plan on a annual or semi-annual basis.
Right.
One of the problems that we have with people is they come in and they have all their different, have a 401k here and an IRA here and some brokerage accounts here, and they don't really have an organized plan to say, okay, this is where we ought to be taking our funds from, or this is what we should move to protect that a little bit.
Okay.
And so as you go from accumulating your retirement funds, you should maybe move into more of protecting those retirement funds.
Right.
And so you kind of need to review that plan from time to time, because maybe you get an inheritance or you've lost some extra money, and so you need to review that plan going forward from time to time to make sure that your goals are consistent with what your risk tolerance is and things like that.
Right. Now, when you say risk tolerance, right, that could be a psychological thing. At some point you'd be like, oh my gosh, I need to be really safe.
Well, psychological blocks is another problem that you have, and that's sometimes saying, well, my dad left me these stocks, and I just can't sell those stocks because I
that's
have a
interesting.
personal tie to those, and yet these stocks are more aggressive than they should be for you, and so
that's a
you
good
have a
point.
psychological block of moving one investment to another, or whatever it might be. You got to get over that to make sure your investments correlate with your plan.
But that could also work with assets that are not working for us, right? So let's say
Exactly
you
the
have an
same
underperforming
thing.
asset, right? And you're like, oh well, it's going to come back.
I've had that asset for 20 years.
Yeah.
I had a lady come in and she said she put my IRA in Apple stock 30 years ago, and I'm never selling it. Well,
Wow.
she's done obviously very well, but it's just funny money until you lock it in. Okay,
Yeah.
It can go down just as quickly as it can go up.
Exactly.
And so underperforming assets, sometimes you run into that psychological block of, say, should I get rid of it?
Right.
Just because Dad left me the stock, it was good for him, but it doesn't match what I'm trying to do.
Right. Now, taxes in retirement, are they much different than when you are getting taxed on income?
Well, people think I'm going to be in a lot lower tax bracket because I'm not earning money, but they don't take
Right.
into account the Social Security income that they're going to
Okay,
be getting.
yes.
And so sometimes you have a situation where a spouse will die, and now you lose some of that Social Security, but you don't have the same deductions you had because you have, and so the tax complications come into play on retirement because you haven't taken into account Social Security and the other
see.
pensions you might have.
I see.
A lot of times people say, well, I'm paying as much as now as I am when I was working, as far as your tax bracket.
Yeah, based on whatever you have as write-offs
exactly,
and things like
exactly.
that. Okay. And then, you know, I think some of us think we're going to live forever. However, I'm not sure if
Aren't
that's...
we?
Well, I'm not sure if that's a feeling that younger people might have, because as you get older, you're like, yeah, 10 years.
Right, right. Well, yeah, it varies. Obviously, the average life expectancy, if somebody was born in 2000, it's 79. That takes into account illnesses, accidents, and everything. Women, I think, are 81, and men are 78. Okay. But the average life expectancy is 79.
Wow.
That's up from when Social Security first started happening. It was 66. So,
oh my gosh, look at that.
Medical advances and
Yes.
things have helped us extend life,
Right.
but just extending life doesn't mean it's good, because it's
Well,
quality
sure,
of life
sure.
that's the issue.
Well, the other thing is you could be the one that's the higher one, right? You could be the 89-year-old.
That's right.
Still sticking around thinking you were going to be gone at 81.
You know, bringing it back personally, my dad lived to 95, my mom lived to 96, and luckily they never were in an assisted living, and so, you know, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be for everybody. I have a lot of clients that, as they've gotten older, their health has declined, and you know, dementia sets in, or Alzheimer's, and it becomes a quality of life issue. And so I try to plan for age, you know, 90, 95, but I would rather have you plan for age 90, 95 and have you pass away at 85 than plan for 85 and have you pass away for 90.
Right.
So,
yeah.
you know, longevity comes into play in regard to that.
Absolutely. And I'll use someone I know's example is that they retired really early. And it was an unfortunate situation because they shouldn't have. Because then when it came to their elder years, they ended up not having enough money to really pay for things.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm sure that happens a lot.
Well, unfortunately, people depend too much on Social Security. And Social Security was not set up to be our main retirement income. It was set up back with Theodore Roosevelt to be a safety net for those that didn't save enough.
I see.
It wasn't necessarily set up for us to depend upon that as our primary income.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, demographics and things have changed over the years. In 1944, there were 42 people working to support one person on Social Security.
Oh my gosh. And now look at it.
and now it's 3.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Wow.
And so we have 80 million baby boomers that are working. Over the next decade, they're going to be moving into Social Security and retiring.
Yep.
I don't know that we're going to get 80 million workers to replace that.
Yeah, it's true.
So we're living longer. They're having to pay benefits longer. And the life expectancy was like 66 back in the 40s.
Yeah.
So you qualified at 65. They figured you're going to live over 66, 67. And they had 42 people supporting one person.
Right.
So there's a reason Social Security is in trouble.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, and hopefully, you know, our administration can take a look at it and figure it out, and kind of reassure those that could be retiring.
It doesn't matter if it's Republicans or Democrats,
Right.
and if it was up to me, I'd throw them all out and start all over. You know, but
Yeah,
you know.
but you're right. It is not a party thing. It's
Right.
it's a people thing, and
Right.
so hopefully we'll get folks to take a look at
We
that.
hope so.
All right, thank you so much for the
Hey, good to
information.
be here.
Have a great weekend.
All right.
And if you want more information about what we've discussed, or you would like an evaluation of your finances, please call 949-859-8900 or go to their website, sterlingfa.com. We'll be right back.
World Series is officially set, and the rest of the sports world is in full swing. I'm Cole Young, and welcome back to this week's edition of Sports Corner. On Sunday, one team, each from the AL and NL, secured their spots in history and punched their tickets into the World Series. In the National League, the high-powered hitting of the Philadelphia Phillies proved to be too much for the San Diego Padres to handle. The Phillies won Game 5 4-3 and sealed the series and their spot in the World Series. This is Philadelphia's first appearance in the World Series since 2008 and 8th appearance ever. The Padres were only able to win one game of the series after their underdog defeated the Dodgers in the NLDS. But the team has a talented roster that could very well make their way to a championship next season. In the American League, another big surprise was the complete sweep of the powerhouse New York Yankees by the Houston Astros. This marks the Astros' 4th appearance since 2017 and their 5th appearance overall. Houston is just 1-3 in World Series, and the Phillies are 2-5. The Houston Astros are currently big favorites to win the World Series over the Phillies, and Game 1 starts tonight in Houston at 5 p.m., so we will see how it all shakes out. Game 2 will be tomorrow, with Game 3 on Monday. This should be an electric battle between two teams that have lots of power and a ton of talented hitters, which should lead to some high-scoring and exciting games. On top of that, of course, the NFL is quickly approaching the halfway mark. I briefly mentioned it last week, but one of the biggest storylines so far this season is teams that have dominated the league for years that are now towards the bottom of the pack of the league. Teams like the Packers, Buccaneers, Rams, and Chargers are struggling to return to their previous form and live up to their expectations. And on the other end, teams normally on the bottom of the rankings are now looking like powerhouses. The Giants, Jets, Eagles, Dolphins, and Seahawks are just a few teams that have surprised fans across the country by becoming top 10 teams this season. At the halfway mark, I figured I'd revisit my predictions from a few weeks ago for which teams will make the playoffs. In the AFC, my playoff predictions were the Bills, Colts, Ravens, Broncos, Chargers, Bengals, and Dolphins. The prediction of the Bills, Dolphins, Bengals, and Ravens are still holding pretty strong, with the Bills still looking like the Super Bowl favorites and the Dolphins continuing to win games. The Bengals are starting to look like the Super Bowl team from last year, and the Ravens had some hit-or-miss games, but are in a weaker division and could very well still secure a wildcard spot. Then there's the other three. The Broncos are currently 2-5 and in the middle of the worst offense of the season so far. The Chargers are losing games they should be winning by double digits, and the Colts just benched Matt Ryan after a 3-3-1 start. Not putting the Chiefs on that list was probably the worst prediction I could have made. Let's see how I'm faring over in the NFC. I predicted that the Rams, Buccaneers, Packers, Philadelphia Eagles, 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, and the Detroit Lions would make the playoffs. On the bright side, the Eagles are undefeated, the 49ers are being carried by a dominant defense, and the Cowboys are coming into form. I stand by that all three of those teams will more than likely make the playoffs. On the downside, the Buccaneers are below 500 after losing to the rebuilding Panthers. The Packers and Aaron Rodgers are struggling tremendously on offense. The Rams are in the same boat as the Packers, and, well, the Lions are 1-5. I really thought I could will them to victory this year, but not off to a great start. We still have 10 weeks to go in the regular season, so a whole lot could change. For the time being, I will make my Week 8 picks. I went just 2-2 again last week, bringing me to 15-9 overall. Still a winning record. Anyway, here are my 4 winners for this week. The Dolphins over the Lions, the Eagles to remain undefeated against the Steelers, the Titans to win on the road against the Houston Texans, and the Bengals to earn a divisional win against the Cleveland Browns. Aside from the best time of baseball in the middle of the NFL season, there are still a lot of sports going on this weekend. The F1 Mexico City Grand Prix will be this Sunday. Hockey and NBA are back in regular season. College football has been more exciting than ever, and we're a little over 3 weeks away from the start of the World Cup. Have a safe, fun, and happy Halloween weekend, and I'll see you right back here next Friday on Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend.
Back, but we have Wendy here on behalf of, now I have to look, it's the Laguna Woods Friends of the Jewish Federation of Orange County Club. It's such a mouthful.
It's a mouthful. Sometimes we call it Laguna Woods Friends of JFOC because we don't know what
there
OC
we
is.
go.
So
Yes, yes.
the heck?
Well, this is a very interesting organization, and this is the first I've heard of it. And you tell me that it is global. How long has it been
Yes.
around?
Well, I'll tell you, I know for sure that our Jewish Federation of Orange County has been serving our community since 1965.
Wow.
And since we're a relatively new county, I'm sure it's been around in various forms,
Sure.
nationally, globally, for probably a century.
Yeah. Well, and you know, this community has been around that early as well, so there were probably many people who began that organization right
Yes,
here.
yes.
So what is it all about?
So Jewish Federation offers many activities for our diverse population of Jews in Orange County.
Okay.
They offer shared experiences that reflect our Jewish culture, traditions, and values. And that helps our individuals feel more connected to one another, but also to Jewish Federation locally, nationally, and globally. They also reach out to, I only learned this recently, well, number one, they touch every single generation of Jews in Orange County. For example, starting with our youngest generation, our toddlers, every Jewish Federation has a program called PJ Library, where they send free books to families that are raising their toddlers through elementary school age kids, Jewishly. And the books are really fun books that enable the parents to tell stories to their kids about Jewish holidays, traditions, culture, on up through, for our middle and high school students. Sadly, one of the more recent services that Jewish Federation offers is a support group for them so that they know how to respond to incidents and report incidents of anti-Semitism on their campus that have occurred and continue to occur, and a support group for them. And then on up to our oldest residents, as I said, they have services that are offered for free and to our Holocaust survivors in Orange County, but also to the 107 Holocaust survivors that we have living here.
In Orange County?
Right in Laguna Woods Village.
Oh, there's that many?
107.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Ranging from their 90s to early 100s.
Wow.
Yes, whether it's helping them get free house cleaning, if they're food insecure, helping them financially. It's quite a valuable organization.
It is a nonprofit organization?
Absolutely.
Yes, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, and then you all get together here in the village.
Right.
And how often do you do that?
We do it several times a year. Our club offers activities that are, well, number one, we have two main purposes. One is to educate the residents of Laguna Woods Village about the functions and value of Jewish Federation. Because many people, even Jewish folks here, haven't heard of Jewish Federation and aren't familiar with what they do. And second, we want to enhance life for our Jewish residents and beyond. You don't have to be Jewish to join our club and come to our activities that are social and educational. And we do host them several times a year. Clubhouse 5, usually on the first Monday each month. They've ranged from, goodness, we've had a klezmer player who was extremely talented, who just wowed everybody. We've had individual singers and duos of singers who sing contemporary music and include some Jewish-themed songs. And we've had some really well-received documentary movies, ranging from the making of the hit musical Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh, that
behind the
would be
scenes
great.
and making of that hit show.
Great.
As well as a recent one that was even enlightening for me. I've lived in Orange County since 1982. It was a documentary about the history of the Jews in Orange County from 1857 to the present. It was fascinating.
It is great when you have documentaries that depict cool stuff like that. So now you guys have an event that's coming up on Monday, November 7th.
Yes, we have
Go ahead.
Oh, it's as Ed Sullivan would say, a really big shoe.
Really big shoe.
This is and I'm glad you have it up there because I don't want to forget any details, but it's a super exciting night. It's our annual musical gala. And people are going to have an opportunity when they come to see top-notch Broadway entertainment. I get goosebumps every time I mention the gentleman's name in background. Kevin Odekirk, it's pretty easy on the eyes.
He's young.
Yes, he is.
But I bet he sings amazing, right?
He sings amazingly. He starred as Marius in Les Miserables on Broadway, as Chris in Miss Saigon, and those are just some of the roles that he started in Broadway. And we also feature Shannon Brennan, who's a resident of Orange County. Shannon specializes in singing Broadway music and helps to produce cabaret shows. Some of their singing will be duets. Most of it will be individual songs.
How fun.
So it's an opportunity to see top-notch entertainment, but also our attendees are going to have the opportunity to make a donation or pledge to Jewish Federation that evening to support the great work that they do.
Okay, good. So you have info there. Okay,
yeah, I'm going to quickly look at our flyer here because I don't want to forget any of the important details.
Well, let's take a look at, first of all, how we can get tickets. Now, if you want to get tickets, they should contact you.
Actually, we're not selling tickets in advance.
Okay, good. So everybody just show up at the door.
Show up at the door. We're encouraging them to arrive on time because we do intend to start at 7 p.m.
Okay.
The doors open at 6:30.
Perfect.
It's first come, first serve as far as seating. Nobody needs to be nervous. There's going to be plenty of seating for everyone at our round tables.
Good.
But leave yourself time to get registered and choose your seat. There will be, the cost is just $10 for guests.
For guests, perfect.
And if you're a member of our club, which is just $36 a year, you will get in free. And there will be coffee and dessert served after the entertainment.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you very much for the information. Go ahead and tell everybody about our movie. All right, take a look here. We've got Rear Window that will be on today at 2 p.m. with subtitles and 6 p.m. without subtitles. And you can check that out today. And that's brought to you by City of Hope. Have a great day in the Village. We will see you again tomorrow right here on Village Television at 9 a.m. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Dr. Vyas and the OCI Care staff believe in one-on-one care and the patient-physician relationship.
OCI Care was absolutely the most wonderful place I've ever been to as far as being taken care of.
The staff was very friendly and I felt very welcomed and relaxed.
How did I feel about Dr. Vyas? The man is very gentle, he is very caring, and totally involved with detail.